What if your body was a gift and contribution to your life and not something that you've been stuck with? What if your body could change quickly and easily? Right Body for You will inspire you and show you a different way of creating the body and the life you truly desire. Now here's your host, Donnielle.
Hi, welcome to Right Body, Right Body for You. This is Donnielle. I am your host and your body tour guide. And you know what? I am destroying all of the computer equipment with me for the moment. Because you have to stand up when you're connected to everything. Everything comes with you. Lesson to be learned for the day. Just saying. Greetings from Copenhagen. I am here doing some fantastic access classes. We just did what's called the 9 trannies class, and it's not about a way to, change sex and become, it's not a transsexual, even though a lot of the search engines think that's what it is. The 9 trannies is actually about the magic that we be. And the class was just simply amazing. And then we have the advanced body class coming up in a couple days. Another one of my favorite classes. Not just because I am the body class coordinator for Access. It's kind of because, I like bodies. And I love the body processes that Access Consciousness has. And speaking of people who love bodies, today I have with me, eventually, her phone's having a little bit hard time connecting, but today I have with me Dr. Claudia Cano. She's one of my favorite people in the world, and she has this amazing point of view about bodies. She likes them. She just doesn't like them. She adores them. She touches them. And you feel better, She was working on me last night, and my body is like, oh, thank you so much. She has this amazing gift with bodies, and it really stems from the place of her adoring bodies and actually having no judgment of the bodies. And she is also one of the Access Consciousness 3-day body class coordinators, which I'm just so excited about. And she's also a medical doctor. I know she doesn't actually talk about that a lot, but she's kind of incredible about her knowledge about bodies. So here she is. She has a medical degree, and she actually likes bodies. How many doctors you know that like bodies? I know maybe 2, and she's one of them. So she's going to come on and talk to us about that when she gets a chance. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask her I'm going to turn over my microphone to her. Give me your headset. And I am going to ask her to introduce herself. And while she introduces herself, tells her a little bit about, Claudia, say a little bit about who you are and all that kind of stuff. I am going to switch and call in on my phone. So she's going to be on my Skype because we're just kind of cool. So, Claudia, please, when I switch the microphone over to you, just tell us a little bit about yourself, about bodies, and about how you got into this and all that kind of stuff. All right? All right. So, coming up, Dr. Claudia Cano. Hello, everybody. Hello? Can you hear me? And that's your headset. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Hey, can you guys hear us? What is going on?
Donnielle, I'm hearing you. Hi, everybody. Okay. It's Keisha. So, Donnielle, we can hear you, and we're just having some very interesting technical stuff.
Well, I think I figured out. I think it was Claudia's headset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give her my headset and my computer, and I'm going to call in on my phone with another headset. So,
all right. So, folks, you are witnessing live on-air miracle making.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Claudia.
Hi.
Hi,
Sorry
baby.
for the Yay.
Do you want to tell folks a bit about yourself while Donnielle is
Yes.
Awesome. We would love to hear that.
Yes. Well, I have an MD. I'm a medical doctor. I've always loved bodies since I can remember. I think they're the most amazing, intriguing, fabulous toys in the planet. And yes. So after being an MD and exploring that part of bodies, I found access consciousness. And that just gave me a totally different insight about what is possible with bodies. And since I love them, I've been exploring way more with all these tools, and I fall in love with them even more. It's like bodies are this amazing contribution to our lives, and they're not only sweet and yummy and a contribution, they are such a gift that I would love for everyone to acknowledge what a gift bodies are. And it's really interesting for me, facilitated 3-day body classes, to acknowledge what people really think about bodies, which gave me a really different insight of how people function with bodies. So it's been quite interesting, and I would just love for people to recognize how amazing bodies are and what a contribution they could be to us if we allow them to be the contribution they can be to us and to our lives and to our living. So what would it take to enjoy them?
Yes. And this just came naturally for you, Claudia? You've always loved bodies?
Yes. Sorry, we're playing the headset here.
Yeah.
Yes, I've always loved bodies since I was a little kid. I was always in motion. I couldn't stand still ever. Hello, can you still hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, so I couldn't stand still. Ever, ever, ever. I will be running around, climbing trees, jumping in puddles. I was always willing to discover what else could I do with my body, other than just being sitting still and doing homework. So, I've kind of always had this relationship with my body and with other bodies where I really enjoy to play with them. That's the word. I love playing with bodies.
Play.
And yeah, so my body's always been my best friend.
Nice.
Funny. I never had that many friends in my childhood. Now I get it. No, I'm kidding. I had the best friend ever. Hello.
Who needs more friends when you have your body?
Exactly.
Unless you just want to invite them.
And my body never stick his tongue out at me, at least.
Well, Donnielle has told her listeners that she loves the way you say the word yummy. So would you give folks a sample of that? Because apparently it makes her giggle, and we would all love to have some of that.
Well, it's funny. Okay. Well, I was thinking that bodies are so yummy.
Awesome. They are indeed.
Yes, they're amazing.
Your area what took you to medicine to begin with, to get your MD?
Well, I've always liked bodies, so I wanted to know how they worked and what else could we do with them, and all that kind of intriguing questioning about them. Mm-hmm. So that's why I end up in med school, because I really was interested in how they function and how can we have more with them.
Nice. So you really went into it with a whole different point of view than what it seems like most medical doctors choose that from.
Yes, it was quite interesting. A bit shocking too.
Were you the only one in medical school with that point of view? That bodies were actually wonderful?
Maybe. I don't know for sure because I didn't ask everyone,
Right.
but it was quite interesting attending the school. Yeah.
So what do you like if there was like a thing you enjoy the most about working with bodies? You do body processes and you do a lot of what people refer to perhaps as energy work now, especially with a lot of the access work, yes?
Yeah. Mhm.
And is there a favorite thing or like a most fascinating thing about bodies that you noticed?
Oh my God, that is like I could talk forever.
We have a little while for it.
I just totally love them. I love touching them. It's so amazing to touch bodies. And well, I have this relationship with my body where I really acknowledge how much my body loves to. It's like I've always known that since I was a kid. Even if it wasn't like a person touching me, just like the wind caressing me or the water or the sun, that is like so amazing, and it always bring me like so much joy, like that perception and that that all those sensations are amazing. So I really acknowledge that I really enjoyed being touched in any form, just like someone touching your hair and I was raised in a Latin country, so we touch bodies a lot. It's like we're chatting and we like touch each other while we chat. So it's not like I'm from a European country where you don't have that much contact with other people.
Or the
like
States.
Body-wise. So
So in your work, I would imagine you see a lot of people who make a direct correlation between food and things that show up in their bodies, yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so given that that was part of the topic that was on tap for today, what would you like to let the world know about food and bodies, and what else is possible with food and bodies? We can kind of jump right in to that.
Hello.
Hey, Donnielle's here.
Donnielle's here.
Hi.
How amazing is that? You get to be on your own show.
I know, it only country numbers to get in and one Skype. How does it get better than that?
Cool. We were just beginning to talk about food.
Yay.
Oh, yes. You know, and only second, and thank you guys, and you really only second to Claudia's love of bodies is her love of food. I mean, literally, when you watch her eat food, it is truly an orgasmic experience. You know, in Access we talk about what if eating food could be an orgasmic experience. She's the first one I've ever seen be and do this. I remember one time we were in London and I had food poisoning, and I watched her eat a strawberry tart. That's the photo that's on the header for the Facebook event page, and my body and I still enjoyed her eating that, even though we had food poisoning and we couldn't eat anything. And so, Claudia, wanted to talk a little bit about how you communicate with your body to get to the yummy food, and talk a little bit about how, you know, it's a common joke in Access that Claudia is the yummy food. How did that you become the yummy food person?
Well, I suppose that since I was little and I had this connection with my body, this relationship, I've always had that relationship too with food. It's always a thing of sensations and flavors and textures and smells. So all of that together, plus the side of the food, is just amazing. It is orgasmic. So my body loves to be touched, and that's also maybe a part of this sensitive experience, like introducing food into your mouth.
I love how you say that, introducing food to your mouth, because, we really don't think about that much, that it's, you brought up all kind of sensations when you said bringing food into your mouth.
Yes, it is amazing, actually. But eating is just such an experience, quote unquote, per se. Just like when you actually see the food and perceive the smell of it when they place the dish with the food in front of you. It has a smell. Like, food has amazing smells. So that is like, oh my God, this is also good. And then you introduce the food in your mouth, and all the textures and the flavors just like pop in your tongue. Like, isn't that like the normal thing?
And it's not, Claudia. You and I have both worked with people all over the world, and it's really been an interesting thing that people feel guilty about food, and they have this horrible, food is the destruction of my body, or if I eat anything yummy, heaven forbid if I actually have flavor to the food I eat, that it's going to be horrible, it's going to make me fat, it's going to make me sick, or whatever it is. So we need to take a quick little break. When we come back, if you would be willing to talk a little bit and give a few tips on how people can start to shift that point of view that you and your body can enjoy food. And that if you do enjoy food, like you say, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, nor will it destroy your body. Okay?
Yay.
Okay. All right. This is, believe it or not, this is Donnielle on For Better For Worse. We got on the show together. This is Right Body For You, and our special guest today is Dr. Claudia Cano, one of my favorite people in the world, and honestly one of my body's favorite people in the world as well. So when we come back, we're going to give a few tips on how to actually start shifting that point of view that food is an enemy. All right, this is Right Body For You. We're on A2Zen.fm, and we'll be right back.
What if your body could be an ease and not a burden? What would life be like if you could enjoy your body? What if changing your body was easier than we've been taught? And what if it's not about the latest fad? Join Donnielle each week on Right Body For You as she explores what bodies are and the ease of change that's possible. Each week you will receive inspirational stories of those who've used the Right Body For You energetic tools to change their body and the tools that they used, tools that you can begin to use immediately. Listen for Right Body For You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on A2Zen.fm.
What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if you're far greater than you've ever given yourself credit for? What if it's time to know the gift and the contribution you are to the world and to like yourself a lot more? Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. Asking questions opens doors to infinite possibilities. And it's not about finding the answer. It's about being the question. Always. What I'm inviting you to step into is something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Newton, Da Vinci, Gandhi, Picasso, and Aristotle all knew to be true. What if no question is too big or too small? What if anything is possible for you? What if together we could create a kinder, gentler, happier world? Is now the time? Go to beingyouclass.com and sign up for a free video series, My Gift to You. beingyouclass.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change this world requires? beingyouclass.com.
This is Right Body For You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8763 or UK 4433-0001-0625. You can Skype us at A2Zen.fm Or if you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle at accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. This is Donnielle. I am your host. And honestly, I'm having a little bit of an identity crisis. It's kind of funny, which is joking, folks, because Claudia ended up on my computer and I ended up on Claudia's computer. So in the chat room, which is, you guys please do join us. It's fun. You can ask questions. When it says Donnielle, it's Claudia. When it says Claudia, it's me. And then I checked on her Skype, and wait a minute, I'm posting as Claudia, so we're having a good time with that. You know, if you could destroy and uncreate yourself every day, I might wake up as Claudia. I don't know. You know what? And I tell you what, if I woke up as Claudia, I would definitely have a lot of fun with my body and food. Okay, so before we went for the break, we were talking about having a lot of people have the point of view about food as it's horrible. And, you know, whenever I tried to do diets and stuff like that, I was pretty much told that if it had any flavor, that it was wrong, that I was going to get fat from it. You know, the old adage joke, oh, if it's just plain chicken, then you know you're eating good. The less flavor, you know you're eating good. So, Claudia, what are some tips that you can actually assist people with of, like, how to begin to shift that? Because I have seen you with food, and your body just sings when it eats food. So what would you say is some of the beginning steps actually shifting that point of view?
Well, I've always been related with food as in a game. I've never seen it as like I'm going to be nurtured with food or my body is going to be created with food. I never saw that. It always was like, this is fun. Oh, it's fun to eat. And I'm the typical one that like grabs every single piece of food with my hands, and I lick my fingers, and I do all these inappropriate things that you should not be doing on a table.
And we love you for it, and often join in.
So I never really related to my body through food as in something that will create a mess. It was the other way around. It was more like, okay, let's have fun with it. So when I got into med school and I started observing all these points of view about like if it has a lot of salt, then it's wrong. If it has a lot of sugar, then it's wrong. And you have to balance this and that and the other and blah, blah. And it for me, it was just like, oh, that's interesting. But I never really totally believe it. and then I was really blown away because I noticed people did believe that. So I was like, okay, you guys are
only the most of the world. Yeah, you
yeah.
have a unique perspective, which is the gift that you are to the world, is to be able to offer this.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's really cool. So what I enjoy food. So first of all is I don't have the point of view that the food is going to create any horrible effect in my body. Actually, it's the other way around. It's like, if I eat this, how much fun I'm going to have and how much more am I going to enjoy my body and how much my body is going to enjoy this.
Well, okay, you know what? Will you actually, I know you threw off those three questions like, okay, well, yeah, of course, that's what you do. I'm telling you right now, nobody functions from that, or hardly any. So will you actually repeat those? Because I know the first time you said them, people were like, what? So will you please repeat those three questions?
So it's how much fun I'm going to have eating this food, how much more I'm going to enjoy my body eating this food, and how much fun is my body going to have in eating food.
Wow.
So it's kind of, it's going to sound interesting, but it's kind of like enjoying someone else's body. It's like when you're go and kiss someone, it's like, oh my God, how much fun I'm going to have kissing this person. So it's something like that with food too. It's like just like picking it up and going, oh my God, this sounds amazing in the menu. And then when you see it, it's like all these colors and different textures you can see and bits and pieces of different stuff. And then the smell coming out of it is just like, oh my God, I can't wait to taste it. And then just put it in your mouth is, and then just like perceiving the taste of whatever is in your mouth. That's the way I could describe it, I guess.
Okay, cool. And if you will repeat the third question, they're putting them in the chat room, and the third question was lost. The first one, how much fun will I have eating this food? 2, how much will I enjoy my body eating this food? And then what was the third one? You remember?
How much fun is my body going to have eating this food?
Okay, cool. And, and Claudia, listening to you now, what it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like you're not eating food for the nourishment of your body. You're eating your food because your body enjoys it?
Yes.
Cool. Will you talk a little bit more about that? Because most people eat food from the point of view of, I have to give my body to keep my blood sugar up, or so it doesn't wither and die, and that kind of stuff. So, because when you're describing these and describing your experience, none of it was about nourishment. Will you speak a little bit about that, please?
Well, it's from like way back again. My mom is really strict about diets and what she used to feed us. So it was like plain stuff, not too much salt, not too much sugar. God forbid for her to use fat stuff. Like, no, that's terrible.
Which, by the way, I don't know if it was mentioned, Claudia was raised in Mexico. So we all know refried beans are better with a lot of fat in it. So you can only imagine a Mexican food meal without a lot of fat in it. I mean, come on. It's the best part of the flavor.
Yeah, it was really weird, actually. So I wasn't really a Mexican, I suppose. I tasted my first, really Mexican patting when I was in med school. My first real quesadilla was in med school. I used to have these things that they call quesadillas, but in Mexico they really fry them. It's like the dough, they put the filling in and then do the raw thing, and then they deep fry it, and that's the real quesadilla. And
interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's called like fried quesadilla, but I used to have used like the others because they don't have that much fat, So it was anyway. So I never related, and I didn't eat that much because the food was kind of flavorless. So I was like, okay, this food is not fun to eat. So I will eat what was fun to eat, and I will have just like tiny pieces and with my fingers because it was funner to get like all the juices in the hand, and get a little messy. And so most of the time I was grounded because I didn't finish the food in my plate or because I made a big mess.
I just the thought of you grounded most of the time is hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny. And so they grounded me like with not letting me go outside and play. I had like to sit there and wait till I was supposed to finish the food, but I never did. I've always been a little stubborn. So I was just sitting there and dancing with my feet under the table or being entertained with others. And I learned that I didn't really require food to have energy. And that's something my mom always was like saying, like, if you don't eat, you're not going to have energy to do anything. You're going to be weak. You are going to whatever. all these points of view. And I noticed that for me it wasn't true. I could like not eat anything at all, and I'll have so much energy, and I'll be like bouncing off the wall if I didn't really eat anything. So for me, it never like correlated having food and having energy. So,
wow, what a shock medical school must have been when you get to that point.
Yes, absolutely, it was, yes. And then in medical school, you have like long hours, and sometimes you don't have time to eat. And it was funny because I could still like be living. I never died. Like, everyone was still alive, you know.
I
No
can
one
attest
died
to that. She is alive. She's in the other room. She is alive.
So for me, that never was like true, like having to eat certain foods to have energy or to obtain a result. It was more like, oh, this is yummy, this is fun, I'll eat it. And most of the time I wasn't really hungry. So I just eat because it was yummy. That was basically
And,
it.
you know, what's interesting, what does hunger actually feel like to you? Because I'm getting that it might be different than what this reality says hunger feels like in your body.
Well, I guess it must be like others, like a hole in your stomach. It was like, oh, I have a hole in the stomach. But if I didn't really go into, oh my God, I'm starving, and I start doing something fun, then I will forget I had a hole in the stomach. It was just like, oh. And then after a few hours, I'm like, oh yeah, I was hungry like 8 hours ago. Now I remember.
Oh, the hole was sewn back up. We're all good. No problem. No problem. And you know, and I've seen you do that. You know, I've spent enough time with you that I'll be like,